Alright, so is this how I start? Alright. So UFC 324 comes on this Saturday live at T-Mobile Arena in Vegas, headlined by Gaethje versus Pimblett. We have a couple of canceled fights, Rose Namajunas and Alexa Grasso. I don't know why. I think it was rescheduled for a later date. Don't know why, personally. But I do know that Kayla Harrison, Amanda Nunes, what was supposed to be a title bout for the bantamweight division, has now been canceled due to Kayla Harrison having a back injury. So now we have 5 fights in total for the main card, starting out our Paramount deal, with the UFC, 7-year deal, $7 billion. Can't get a good main card to save their life. But I'm going to be giving my breakdown on the card, how, it's going to be stacking up basically with, maybe the fight nights coming up, UFC 325 coming up legitimately next week, the week right afterwards. We're getting 2 pay-per-view cards back to back to start out the Paramount deal, and then we're getting Mario Bautista versus Vinicius Oliveira. But we're not talking about those. We're going to be talking about UFC 324. So starting it off, we got Ty Miller and Adam Fugit. First of all, sorry for the voice. Don't know why. I've been getting a real bad cough over the past few days. But so we're starting off with this. We got Ty Miller, Adam Fugit. Ty Miller, 6-0 so far, 25 years old, long, rangy, half an inch reach over Adam Fugit. Adam Fugit, 37 years old. At that 14-second KO loss. Other than that, I think he was in another loss in a split decision for a tiny bit. But I'm pretty sure that they're giving Ty Miller Adam Fugit for this one. I'll be honest. 6-0, 10-5. Come on. Next up, we got Cameron Smotherman and Ricky Turquios. Cameron Smotherman, 12-6. Ricky Turquios, 13-5. I kind of have this as a little bit of a pick-me fight. Same height, a little bit of a difference in reach. So Cameron Smotherman's going to have to go inside of that reach of Ricky Turquios. But the thing is, as soon as Smotherman gets into that range, Ricky Turquios is going to be looking to throw some bombs immediately. So if I had to put my money on one or the other, I'd want to put my money on Cameron Smotherman, just because I think the UFC is going to want his name up on there. You know what I'm saying? He's had a couple of really good fights, 5'9", fights out of, what is it? I think it was Team Metro. Whereas Ricky Turquios has had some really, good fights, but he's been in here for quite some time. Up next, Josh Holkett, Denzel Freeman. Josh Holkett, if people don't know, he's, once was an American football player for the 49ers. I don't think he started, but I'm pretty sure he was at least on special teams. So, he's also known to be that type of person that, dons the, patriotic flag. He's basically trying to put WWE into the UFC, which I can appreciate. He's a good fighter. He's got some really good wrestling. The only thing is he's going up against Denzel Freeman. Denzel Freeman kind of, from Colorado. He's got a couple of good wins, but he's kind of known to be one of those, just athletic heavyweights. So, I really want Josh Hockett to win. I'm going to have to look at the odds later on this week, see how it goes, but I'm putting my money on Josh Hockett over anything. Next up, we got Michael Johnson, Alexander Hernandez. Both been in the game a lot longer than, even I would want to be in for just a regular career. But, Alexander Hernandez, only 33 years old. I just banged my hand on the desk. Michael Johnson, 39, He's kind of having a little bit of an up career. Alexander Hernandez has his own curse of having 2 wins, 1 loss, 2 wins, 1 loss. Pretty sure he's on 2 wins so far, if I could just check the Tapology or the Share Dog. Yeah, so he's on a 4-fight win streak. A couple of good ones. Chase Hooper's an alright one. Austin Hubbard's a really good one. Holoba's all right. Having Diego Ferreira and TKO punches in round 2, that's nice. But it shows the fact that, like, he's able to go the decision. Whereas I kind of see Michael Johnson. Michael Johnson has had 3 wins, 1 loss. 1 win, 1 loss, 1 win, 2 losses. But, like, most of them are decisions. So, I mean, I would say if I put my money on it, it would be a decision of a fight. They're going to be going tit for tat. It's going to be a little bit more of a chess match than what people want. But, I mean, if I had to put my money, I'd put my money on Michael Johnson. Even though I did say for Adam Fujit, the age difference, you got 25 versus 37, and then you got 33 versus 39. Not too much of a difference. Not too much of a difference. Up next, we got Alex Perez versus Charles Johnson. Charles Johnson, one of the taller fighters in the flyweight division, one of the, longest reaches in the flyweight division, I'm pretty sure, up against maybe Tim Johnson, unless this is the guy I'm talking about. And then Alex Perez, a guy who I believe lost against Tatsuro Taira. No, he had a win up against Asu Amabayev, and then, yeah, he lost to Alex Perez, unfortunately. And no, he lost. I know people are going to say, oh, you said he won. He lost. It just says green on it, okay? It just has green, okay? If it was red, I'd say, oh, he lost to it, okay? Fucking hate people that do that. But, yeah, no, I mean, I would want to say that they'd want to have Charles Johnson. They just want this to be a fun fight on the card. Like, this whole entire card, if I have to be honest, is just full of fun fights. Fun fight, fun fight, fun fight. Really fun fight. Fun fight, fun fight, fun. Like, it's a lot of good, fun fights. And so, I mean, I'm tuning in for it. I'm going to be live for it. I'm going to be watching it on my TV. I might as well. I'm going to be all for it. Next up, we got Nikita Krylov, Modestas Bukauskas. Same age, same height, same reach-ish. About a half an inch. But with them being so tall, half an inch of a reach doesn't mean that much. Bukauskas was a guy who got his knee absolutely decimated up against Roundtree. Krylov was a guy who did suffer a loss against Yuri Prohashka, but he's been up against some of the better of the division. And I think he was also up against Roundtree later on after he defeated Bukauskas. And that was a really fun fight. So, I mean, I feel like Nikita Krylov is the dark horse of the light heavyweight division. He hasn't won every single fight, but he's that person that's going to sit in the 5 to 10 range in the rankings and kind of just sit there. He might get a title shot if, like, people get injured or people are already booked up, but, like, he's not going to be that world beater. Bukauskas is more of that 10 to 15 range, which I could see him getting up to that 5 and beating if he beats Krylov. But I don't see it. For the time, I just don't. And then we got another little kind of really fun fight, but let's be honest, they're kind of just feeding Pulayev to Gutierrez, but they're giving Gutierrez a good challenge. They're finally giving him a test. They gave him a short notice opponent after the last guy pulled out, and Gutierrez was able to finish him, I think, within the first round. If I could just check the topology just real quick. Yeah, defeated him fucking first round in a minute 40 because Ozzy Diaz canceled him out. I believe because he couldn't make weight. But, I mean, Otava Gutierrez is absolutely monstrous. Even for 6'3", 185, he's got to be rehydrating to, like, 215, 220. Pulayev, on the other hand, he's, had a couple of good fights. He's a long, rangy kind of kickboxing person. Does mix in a little bit of the takedown, a little bit of the clinch here and there. But most of his wins are by knockout. Most of them in the first round. You know what I'm saying? Most of them, they have all of these stats now. Oh, I could have just been on this instead of just Google. Okay, well, I mean, that's cool. Let me see. Let me actually go up to this real quick. Oh, great. Yeah, I could just do this. No, I don't want to confirm the cookies. And so yeah, no, you could see chisel the shit, chisel the absolute shit. Get that out of here. Whereas he's kind of more of a, he's a Russian, wrestler type of person. Gutierrez got a reach advantage, even a leg reach advantage. I don't know why they have that in there. But I mean, I have to be honest, it's gotta be like he's finally getting a test, but even still, he's got to get a top 15 opponent after this. Right afterwards, imagine this. Imagine this. The first Paramount card, the first Paramount UFC pay-per-view card is number 2 Umar and number 6 Davison Figueiredo. Like we're still on the prelims. We're not even on the main card yet. So yeah, we got Umar versus Davison. Umar 19-1. Davison, 25-5. Umar had that loss up against Merab Davashvili, that 5-round decision. It was really tit for tat. Could have gone either way. I was biting my nails towards the third and the fourth round. But then Merab kind of, decided to aura farm, standing up over top of Umar as he's, trying to drag him down to the ground. Davison Figueiredo's got a little bit of a up-down career, a win up against Jackson, and then I think he had a couple of more wins, but then a loss. Yeah, one against Davison Figueiredo, but then he lost against Corey Sandhagen. He won against Jackson, and he lost against Jan. So, I mean, he's had a bit of an up and down career moving up to bantamweight from flyweight. But even still, his skills have carried up to the bantamweight division. I just don't know if his wrestling and jiu-jitsu skills are going to carry up as much as it's going to be with Umar. Umar is known to dehydrate himself a lot and then gain up that weight so that he's good when it comes to wrestling. So, I mean, if I had to put it on either, I'd put it Davison. But, I mean, I'm going to kind of put this a little later in the week. Next up, we got Arnold Allen, John Silva. Two absolute bangers. Banger fighters, He's got about the same haircut I do, same hairline. Hasn't cut it off. I'm going to be cutting mine off, maybe. Either way, 16-3. A bit of an up-and-comer, which is weird to say. But, I mean, he's gone up against, Bryce Mitchell. He's gone up against a couple of, top 15s. And then he went up against Diego Lopez. And then he kind of got found out, He found out that, high-fiving every 5 minutes and acting like it's a little bit of a joke. It doesn't work all the time. So now he's going up against Arnold Allen, somebody who probably is not going to play games. It's going to be a real good fight. If I had to put my money, I'd put my money John Silva. This fight, I mean, let's be honest, we're here for one reason and one reason only. A good fight. Both of them are coming off of a win. One of them's Brazilian, 5'4". She's got a short leg reach, you know what I'm saying? Comparatively to Rose Namajunas, which is weird considering she's going up to flyweight from strawweight, Rose Namajunas. But 15-7, 19-5. Gotta love it. Waldo Cortez Acosta and Derek Lewis, Both of them coming up more towards 265. Let's be honest, Derek Lewis gonna be going up at 265. He's been cutting down on his diet a little bit, but let's be honest, this is going to be something where he's going to need all the weight to try to knock out Waldo Cortez Acosta. Waldo Cortez Acosta has been Tom Aspinall's kind of villain for the past couple of months. He's come up on short notice up against Tom Aspinall's teammate, got eye poked in the first round, and then came back and knocked him out. Decided to wear an eye patch to kind of, poke fun at Tom Aspinall, which I thought was kind of funny. Derek Lewis, having a little bit of a journeyman era, but a fun journeyman era. You know, not the type of one where it's like the Cowboy Cerrone, where he's fighting just like these undercard fighters after getting the Conor McGregor payday, and then like, you know, kind of sailing off and doing his own thing. Derek Lewis has been fighting the top 15, you know, coming back, you know, getting the paydays and all that stuff. And now he's trying to jump back into the rankings with Wilder Cortez Costa. My thing is, same-ish reach, same-ish leg reach. You would think Derek Lewis would be bigger. He's not. That's why I'm going to go Waldo in this case. Now for the co-main event. Co-main event. Imagine Sean O'Malley co-maining in 2026. After a loss. We got Song Yadong, Sean O'Malley. You know, Sean O'Malley really good with finding his range, using his teeps, you know, using his front leg for the kicks. You know, he's got a long leg reach, you know what I'm saying? He's even taller, 3 inches taller than Song Yadong. But Song Yadong, really good in the clinch, really good with his Muay Thai, really good at leg kicks, switch kicks, kick with his front foot, hooks to the body, moving his head off the center line, jab to the body, getting into the clinch work, getting into, like, he likes staying busy. The only thing is, when he's outside of range, he doesn't like staying busy, and Sean O'Malley likes being outside of range. So this really depends on where it goes. Now, for the main event of the evening, well, for Saturday evening, Paddy Pimblett, Justin Gaethje, interim title belt. Ilya Topuria facing with a couple of, you know, he's got his things and he's coming back later on in the year. But for right now, we got this coming up for the lightweight interim title. Justin Gaethje coming off a win up against Rafael Fiziev. You know, he's coming back. He's absolute highlights. Pimblett, you know, really good on the ground. A little bit of a scouser, you know. He likes knocking people out. He's like the type of person that likes getting knocked out and like knocking people out, except he doesn't get knocked out. 3-inch reach advantage, same leg reach advantage, you know, about an inch. But I'll be honest, probably about the same height. You know, I want Gaethje to win, but people have been saying that there's been a bit of a blemish right here on his neck over the past week. Some people are saying it's staph. I don't know. But either way, I'll say this. To start out the Paramount card, not bad. Not bad. Not bad. Now, I mean, with the next card coming up, I mean, it's not bad. Because with, like, Alexander Volkanovski and Diego Lopez, not exactly a well-earned title shot, but a title shot nonetheless. And I mean, for $13.99, it's not bad. It's not bad. Now, me personally, I got the annual plan because, I mean, might as well. But, I mean, I'm already happy. Are you guys happy? Let me know down in the comments. I'm going to be coming on later on today for a live stream. Other than that, see you guys later.